Alright, so to upload image, we have to access the camera, the image, the photo library of the mobile app, and for that we can use a package from Expo that is called Expo Image Picker. So let me quickly show you that one. Expo Image Picker. So we go to the Expo docs. So and Expo has a lot of these libraries that makes our life a lot easier. For example, accessing the camera, the photo library, you can see this will provide access to the system's UI for selecting images and videos from the fonts library. Alright, so to install, we can run this command. So let's copy that. Let's run that. It looks like it requires Yarn for some reason, so let me install Yarn globally. I just sudo. I just had some cleanup done with in my computer, so probably that's when I removed Yarn. Alright, so once that is installed globally, so let me try this again. Expo install Expo Image Picker. Okay, so that seems to be working. So it might take a while, so let me pause the video. Once the installation is done, I'll be back. Alright, so I installed that Expo Image Picker a few days ago. Actually, it's been 2-3 days already. I couldn't complete it the other day, so I'm here back again. Alright, so let's continue. So here in client folder, so we're working on this screen. So we go to screens account, and then here we import that one, Expo Image Picker. So we import everything from Expo Image Picker. Import everything as Image Picker from Expo Image Picker, and then we can just use this one. Sorry, it's Picker. Alright, so once we have that, let's go to our function handle upload, and let's also add some state. Actually, before we work on that function, let's add some state for image. So we need to put the image here, so let's call it upload image. Upload image set upload image equals to use state, and then this will be for to preview the image. So when user is uploading the image, it will take maybe a second or two to upload to Cloudinary and get the response URL, right? So we don't want to wait that 1 or 2 seconds to display the image. Instead, what we can do is we can preview the image. So whichever image is selected by user, we can preview that image here immediately, and then we just wait for the uploaded URL response. Okay, so for preview, this is the one we're going to use for preview image, upload image, and then for the actual URL that we get from Cloudinary, that one we will put here in the image, and set image equals to use state, and this response we get from Cloudinary, we get the URL of the image, and we get the unique ID, public ID. All right, so we get these two fields, so we will store them in the database. So later, if we want to remove this from Cloudinary, you can use this public ID to remove this image from Cloudinary. Well, actually we already had this one here. Let me remove that. Alright, so this will be for the image, and this will be for the image preview while we are uploading. Alright, so with that done, let's go to the function handle upload. So this function will execute when user clicks on this icon. Right, so handle upload, that function executes. So here there are a couple of things you might want to understand, because you don't want to just follow along with me while coding. You want to understand how everything is done, right? So let's go through step by step, try some console logs just to see how the whole process works. All right, so first thing we need to work on is we need to ask the user for the permission. So our application need to ask for the permission. If the user allows our application to access the image library, only then we can continue further, right? So if you have I'm sure you have used your iPhone and many applications. Whenever sometimes they want to access image, sometimes they want to access camera, you know, the location, whatever that is, the iPhone give you this pop-up that, hey, the app requires access to this, do you want to give access, or something like that. Sometimes you have to go to settings and, you know, allow the access, things like that. So we have to handle the permission first. So here what we can do is we can ask for the permission, and we can use the image picker library we installed. We can use that. So let me put it in a variable permission result equals to await. So this will be async. So let me just use async here. So we wait for the user, and to ask for the permission we use image picker dot, we get this function, it's called request media library permission. Request media library permissions async. All right, so that's quite long. So that function we can execute, and that will show the prompt to the user. So we can take if permission result equals false. If the user said no, then we can show some kind of alert saying that camera access is required. All right, so unless they give us the access, we cannot access the image library, and we cannot upload the image. So we ask that, and then we return. So there's no point executing any other code here in our function, so we just immediately return. Otherwise we can get the image from the user. All right, if everything is good, then get image from image library. Now let's try this one. And by the way, this one works only for the first time. Once you allow access, I think until you restart your app, I think it will not ask again. Okay, so let me actually try this one. Let's see how this works. Okay, now you saw this one. Experience needs permission. This is the current our app identifier. You can see this links daily, some random number, needs permission for your media library. You have already granted permission to another expo. So do you want to allow or deny? Now if user said deny, then we're supposed to get this alert. Let me try again. Deny. Okay, my bad. It should be permission result dot permission result dot granted. So we get that object with that property, and we check the value if that is true or false. Okay, so let me actually console log, just so that you understand what's going on. So console log permission result, and then let me use return. Okay, so let's have a look at the console log first, just so that you understand how we are doing all this. Okay, let me go to, okay, so let me highlight that one. We want to see the console log. Okay, so if I say deny, come back here and you see, you get this response. So when a console log permission result, we get that. So access these things, and then the important one, granted, is false, status denied. So we are checking for this value. So if granted is false, then we can show this alert, otherwise we can continue. All right, so let me just comment that out, and let's try now with this granted. Let's try and deny. You can see camera access is required. Awesome. Okay, but if the access is given, then we can go ahead. So we can pick the image from the library. Let me put that in a variable, picker result equals to await image picker request media library permission async. Okay, that's quite long, but thankfully VS Code had this autocomplete. Awesome. Oh, actually that's not the one, that one we have already used here. So the one we need, image picker dot, this time it's launch image library async. Launch image library async, that's the one. All right, so this function, you have to give some arguments here. So the first one allows editing. Give the value of true. Let me just, next one, aspect. So the image crop, the aspect ratio, you can give 4 and 3, and then we want to get the base 64 value of the image. So base 64 true. So we will get this image in base 64 format, and then that data we will send to the backend, and backend will upload to Cloudinary, and then that's how we get the uploaded URL. Okay, so picker result, console log, let's console log here as well. All right, so now we must have access to the library. We pick the image from there, and then we have a look at the console, what we get. All right, so let's try. We want to have a look at the console. So let's select, this time allow. All right, so once we allow access, we should get access to the image library. All right, so these are the images in the device by default. So let me pick one. All right, so let's choose. Okay, and let's see what we get as a result here. You can see the image is here in the binary format, in base 64 format. Awesome. So far so good. Now we want to send this to the backend for uploading. Now let me just double check here. Let's also handle one more scenario. For example, let's say user didn't select the image. What happens then? So let me try again. Let's say user didn't select anything, he just cancelled. So if that happens, then we get this result, cancelled true. So if it is cancelled, we don't want to go ahead and execute any code down here for uploading, right? So let's handle that scenario. If picker result granted equals sorry, not that one we already used. So if picker result cancelled, right, so that's the one, cancelled. If that is true, then we want to immediately return. Okay, otherwise we can now save this data. So this is the base64 image data. We can put in the state, right? So we have that value set. Let me just double check. That one is set upload image, so we can put it there, and then that way we can display the preview immediately, right? So set that one, set upload image. So the value is going to be picker result dot URI. Now if you noticed, let me just go up. Okay, actually it doesn't have the URI. Okay, so it's not actually URI, and we cannot actually save the data like this, just like this, because to display it we have to add something here. For example, data :/image and the image type, and then base64, and then we can show the actual this base64 content. All right, so what we can do here is let me actually put it in a variable. Let base64 image equals to, let's use backticks here, so it has to start with data :image/jpeg. Let's give the value jpeg colon, and then base64 comma the base64 value we can put here, which would be picker result dot base64. That's what we get here. You can see that's the key and that's the value. Okay, so we grab that prefix with this. All right, so we put everything here in this variable. Now this variable that contains all this value, this can be saved in the state. All right, now at this point we should be able to access this state to show the image preview, and then we can continue here. Save to state for preview, and then we're going to send this to the backend as well for uploading to Cloudinary. Send to backend for uploading to Cloudinary. So let's continue this in the following lecture.